Hey everyone, welcome to the Fin Factor Live edition. This is the post game for round 3, game number 4. The San Jose Sharks have scored 3 goals but still lost 2-1, unfortunately. So, what?
The Sharks scored 3 goals.
Yeah, Nyquist put one in, right? It went past Jones. And then Braun kicked one in. Apparently it wasn't a distinct kicking motion because that went past Jones too. So the Sharks scored 3 goals tonight.
It was distinct kicking, but they missed it. That's all.
Okay, there you go. It was missed. A missed call.
So that's evened up now.
Yeah, there you go.
On the missed calls.
So anyway, yeah, the St. Louis Blues win by a score of 2-1, even though not one of their guys put the puck past Jones. So there's that.
So he got a shutout.
Yeah, sort of.
Against the Blues.
Yeah, not against his own team.
Right.
Is what it is. So what did you think about the game? I have some things to say too. So.
I thought it was kind of not a tale of 2 games, but it looked like the Blues started off hot. And what I'd said in the last game, the end of last show, I guess, is that the Sharks are going to need to weather the storm, and they unfortunately did not. Blues scored, 30 seconds into the game?
35, I think.
35 seconds in. So they got a ton of momentum in the beginning, but they seemed to kind of tail off a little bit. So it was like it was all Blues in the first period. Second period, the Sharks started to take control, and I think the third period, the Sharks looked like the better team. And I thought they were going to tie it up and take control of the game, and they were close several times.
Yeah.
I think the Blues looked done to me. Like, obviously not done because they won the game, but they seemed so dejected and couldn't quite not ice the puck.
Okay.
At the end, I saw a couple times they iced the puck. I go, here we go again. Sharks are gonna get control, and they're gonna score a goal and tie up the game. It's gonna be deja vu all over again, right?
Yeah.
So I thought the Sharks looked better in the end of the game, and they woke up. I think hopefully they can carry that into Game 5, mainly because I'll be there, and it'll be an odd game. So the Sharks will most likely win Game 5 because of that.
Oh, okay. That's good. No, I thought the first period was pretty much all Blues. They came out just storming, like we said that they were going to, right? We thought they were going to come out with a fury, and it would just put a flurry of pucks on net, and they were bringing the puck into the zone real easy. They were throwing the body around a lot. They were hitting anything and everything in sight that was wearing teal. So there was a lot going right for the St. Louis Blues in the first period. And even when they couldn't bury it themselves, again, a lot going right for them in that the Sharks were able to deflect it past Jones or kick it past Jones or whatever the case was. So I think everything was kind of going the right way for the St. Louis Blues in the first period. And after that first, that's when we started to see things change just a little bit. I think the Sharks kind of picked it up a little bit more in the second period. Still not very physical presence. There are lots of times where I've seen, especially Timo Meier, passing up on hits where he's got a guy in the corner with not his back turned, but his shoulder turned, right? And he can just run right into him, no problem. But instead, he kind of skates up, breaks, and tries to do like a little swooping poke check to get the puck away. Again, I understand trying to retrieve the puck and get possession, but invest, right? We've been saying then the better it bodes for you, because obviously the San Jose Sharks are a pretty tired team right now as well. They've played the most games out of any team in the NHL these playoffs. So the more you can...
The Blues have played one less game.
Sure. They've played... Well, you made the stat the other day that Binnington has... or Jones has saved more than Binnington has, or in terms of goals. But that was by 1 goal, right?
So, yeah, but the same number of games.
Sure. You said by 1 more goal, or 1 less goal, right?
Jones scored 1 more goal?
No. You were saying that Binnington let in 1 more goal than Jones.
In the same amount of time period, yes.
Right, but you're saying it's by a factor of 1, so it's really like nothing. It's barely anything.
That's not even related.
1, okay? So all I'm saying is the Sharks have played 1 more game. It's not that much. Considering that there's not really, when you're considering that as 17 games have been played, 18 games now have been played, there's a difference between 17 and 18. I don't think there's a huge difference there.
Huge,
in terms of being tired.
Monumental.
Right. So anyway, Brent Burns has played a whole game by himself more than everyone else, right?
See?
There's another
whole game.
Yeah. That's Brent Burns.
That's what I said.
A
whole
You're
game.
Ridiculous. You're killing me right now. Anyway, no, I think that the Sharks played better as the game went on. So hopefully, again, we see that carrying into the Game 5. You got the home crowd behind you. That's all well and good. It's got to mean something, though, right? It can't just be, hey, it's an odd game, we're going to win it. It can't be, hey, we're at home, we're going to win it. There has to be the work that gets put in, and you cannot come out in the first period like you did today in Game 4 and expect it to get a win. It's just not going to happen. So you really do need to step it up and play, get out in that early lead, I think. especially against this team that is hungry. They want it. They feel cheated out of Game 3. They showed it today in Game 4, and they went after it. So hopefully that's what we see in Game 5. We'll have to see.
It is now a best-of-3 series, just like the Colorado series. And people, once they won Game 3, everyone's like, oh, Sharks and Bruins. They started talking about the finals, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we were talking about it not last week, but the last show.
Episode.
So obviously we're too far ahead of ourselves. We don't want to do that again tonight. But it's just like the Colorado series, best-of-3 now. And do you like the Sharks' chances with 2 home games to win a best-of-3 against St. Louis?
Yeah, and Pete DeBoer said it in the post game. He said, guys are asking him, how do you feel? Do you still feel confident? It's like, well, yeah, I feel confident. We're in the Western Conference Finals, and it's 2-2. We got 2 of the next 3 games are at home. They're on home ice. Why wouldn't I feel confident? And it makes sense, too. Again, let's go back to what I've been saying. I figured that since the Sharks split at home and they got Game 3, I'm going, you know what, there's no way. St. Louis is going to take at least one of their 2 at home, right? And that's exactly what happened tonight. They took one of the 2 games at home. So, does it bode well that we have 2 games at home of the next 3? Yeah, I think it does. But, again, I in terms of the confidence level from Pete DeBoer, my point there was, what if we had lost Game 3, the Sharks? If the Sharks had lost Game 3 and then won Game 4, the exact same outcome, the exact same series in terms of being tied 2-2. But the Sharks are feeling a whole lot better about their chances, right? Or Sharks fans, I should say, are feeling a whole lot better about their chances. Why? Because they ended on a win as opposed to ending on a loss. And I've been saying this too the whole time. Look, Game 4 is the most pivotal of any of the 7 games, right? I mean, obviously Game 7 is quite a thing, but you're not always going to get to a Game 7. So Game 4 is the most pivotal in any 7-game series. It's going to tell you if you're going to have a 3-1 lead or if you're going to be tied or if you're done, right? So that's kind of what we're looking at right now is that, yeah, we could have been up 3-1, which would have been great. Right now, it's 2-2. But the way that it turned 2-2, some Sharks fans are feeling a little less confident than if it was a win tonight to make it 2-2, right? So to me, it's the same thing. It's the same thing as Colorado. Right. Win-loss, win-loss, win-loss. I mean, it's the same exact thing as what happened in Colorado. So we'll see what happens in Game 5. Again, if the Sharks come home with a win, Game 5, we'll see what happens in Game 6. And, I mean, we'll go from there. But I think it's a good series so far. I think that the fact that we're tied up really speaks to the parity between the 2 teams. We've said this a bunch of times that it seems not like a mirror image necessarily in terms of them, like a mirror match, because they play different styles. But both of them are so deep and so good that they can hurt you from any line, right? And I think, again, we're seeing that in the way that this game played out, the way that this series is playing out. Again, 2-2. So they're very even teams. Go ahead.
Real quick note on Game 3 from Just In My Head for the $1.99 in the Super Chat. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thoughts on gambling sites refunding Game 3?
It's so stupid.
Care less.
What's the point? It's in the record books as a win for the Sharks. I don't understand why they would do that. They did that to fuel the controversy because any publicity is good publicity, especially for gambling. So now everyone's going to go look at that website and go, oh, wow, they refunded money. Now I want to spend more money on the next game. Now I think the St. Louis Blues are going to win because they're going to be so pissed off and the refs are going to help them in Game 4. For me, it was a complete publicity thing and nothing more.
I think you better hope that there's not another controversy that people are betting on because they're going to expect a refund now. So
it sets a precedent, right? I think it was stupid. I think it was all publicity and nothing more.
Yeah, I personally, I could care less. I mean, hey, if they want to refund them, that's their money and their business to do that with. To me, it's kind of silly to do that, but at the same time, I don't gamble or anything, so it doesn't really matter to me.
How much less?
How much less?
You could care less.
Oh, shut up.
Just kidding, man.
Stupid. Everyone who says, just be quiet.
Anyways, no, I was
you got called out last time you said that. That's
I know,
why.
I saw that. That's why I brought it up again.
Whatever.
I got in before the comments.
Yeah.
Corey Kling, where are you guys going to be sitting for Game 5?
I actually haven't bought my seats yet, so I don't know yet.
Couch.
Hopefully, then you will be
I'll
there.
be there, but I don't know where yet.
They were just mentioning you guys might try to throw out, maybe meet up in an intermission or something. So
Probably going to happen.
watch the socials, etc. So.
I will be there close to game time, so I won't be able to do anything before the game. And then after the game, I'm going to have to be here. So I will probably intermissions, I'll be able to walk around and find a meetup spot. I don't know. I'll think of something.
Yeah.
I'll let you guys know. I'll post it on anywhere. Twitter.
There's that little bar area that's right outside of 101, I think.
The big bar.
Yeah, the
It's
big.
right there.
I'm sorry, the big bar area. Yeah, I guess
Right.
that's on the upper level though, on 101. Yeah.
Oh, the upper level.
Yeah, because
Oh, I was
there's
thinking
in
the
the
one-
club. I'm sorry. There's an area that's in the club that has a little bar, but above that, there's the bar that's kind of
Right.
up the
In the
escalator.
middle, right? When
Yeah.
you come up the stairs. Right?
Yeah, yeah.
That one. Yeah. Sure.
I think. Is it
It's a
101
big
or
area.
115? You guys tell me. I
I think
forget.
it's 115.
You might be right.
Hey, should we give Super Chat money back?
No.
All
Audio's crashed.
Oh.
We're back.
All right.
We're
A
back
little
on
hiccup
audio?
there. I think, yeah, I thought the Sharks bounced back, and to me, they looked like they were going to tie the game. They had their chances, and it's unfortunate. I mean, Burns hit the crossbar twice,
Yeah.
I think.
Cover your mic.
No, not.
Your arm.
It's right here.
Yeah, Burns to the
Point your mic
crossbar.
inward.
So, yeah, they had some chances. They had some really good chances. It's a puck luck thing, right? Like you were saying, puck luck. It didn't go in tonight. It went in the wrong way tonight.
you know what? Have any silver lining from this game for me? It was a game 4, and we were not scoreless.
You know, I thought Martin Jones played excellent tonight. He made, was it 20 saves tonight on 22
Yeah.
shots, the 90 save percentage
Mhm.
roughly. I thought he looked really good, and he made some big saves, especially in that first period when they were just onslaught, just a wave after wave of attack. And he made a couple saves that looked like Game 3 saves, coming across the crease and pushing off and
Yeah.
getting that open guy on the other side. So I thought Jones played well, and I think he's going to carry that into the next game. He's really seeing the puck well, I think. It's really unfortunate that he's got those just really bad bounces.
Well,
Yeah.
even on the second goal that they got, we watched it a couple times. So he stops the first effort, then Vlasic kicks it, and I thought Vlasic kicked it towards the net, but he actually kicks it like 45 degrees away from it. Jones knocks it away again, and then Braun comes in and
Yeah.
kicks it straight 5-hole.
Yeah.
So
It was
like,
just like
he
a
saw it a
cluster
bunch.
crazy
in front
pinball.
of him, right? Yeah.
Crazy pinballing shot kind of thing was really strange. But what I was going to say was, and even Kevin Kurz called this out, so you know that Jones is playing pretty well if Kersey is calling it out. Because what he was saying was, this could be out of hand right now in the first period. Jones has made a whole bunch of really good saves, like high quality, very good saves.
Yep.
In fact, there was a stat. They had 10 shots in the first period. Guess how many of them came from the slot?
7.
10.
Oh, wow.
Every single shot that the Blues had in the first period came in the slot.
So high danger.
High danger, baby.
Wow.
And Jones is shutting them down, except for the one that got kicked in, and except for the deflection off of Nyquist.
All right, well, Joe is one too many in the Super Chat, $10. Thank you very much.
Ah,
the
thanks.
comments?
Wow, thank you.
I helped! Thank you very much.
Nice. Thank you so much. Appreciate it, buddy.
Somebody was talking about. Somebody was asking what Joe and Kane were joking about on the bench. Do you guys know?
Oh, they weren't joking. What was happening, at least this is what the guys on the broadcast were saying, was that, see, Kane had his stick, and Joe kept looking over at it, and he was like saying something about like this. He was going like this with his hands, like the flex, the bend, right? And he went to go grab it to say something or show something to Kane, and Kane like holds the stick away from him, like, no, like, don't touch my stick, Yeah, seriously, this is hockey superstition, right? So like he's like, no, don't just okay, fine. And so then you got Kane, he's sitting on the bench, and he's like leaning forward, he's looking away, and he's got a stick like this, and Jumbo sitting next to him, and he goes and grabs it and goes like this, and Kane pulls it away like, what are you doing? So, yeah, I think that's what it was. I think it's just a hockey superstition thing. And on the second time that they showed that, the one I was just talking about, Jumbo was actually laughing. So I think Joe was just kind of playing around with Kane a little bit there. Yeah, just messing with him a bit. It's like, hey, it can't be much worse. You haven't scored a goal in however many games, right? So
That's probably what he's
let
doing.
Jumbo touch it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. But Kane wanted no piece of it, apparently. I don't know. If it was me, hey, a Hall of Famer with breaking milestones every other night, I'll touch my stick, buddy.
I think he's just going to start passing it in.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll take it any which way you can get it. No big deal.
I thought Kane looked a little better tonight than he had
A
previously.
little better. Looks
Yeah.
stronger.
He still looks like he's favoring his shoulder or something. Because, I mean, he had that power move, but he didn't use his, I think it was his left. He was just using one hand, basically, with his right arm. So I'm like, maybe.
Something wrong with our Wi-Fi.
Aren't you plugged in on
We back?
And
There it is.
I think we're back.
Sorry.
Hi.
We lost camera and audio for a second there. Maybe a minute. Super producer Jason is sighing heavily.
Visibly upset. Yeah, hopefully we're back. If we are, great. If we're not, we'll be back soon. But it looks like we're okay now. So I think we had some other comments, Joe, as we were waiting.
Yeah, John Doe, $5 in the Soup Chat. Thank you very much.
Thank
Am I
you,
the
John.
only one that is still worried about the Sharks giving up those goals early in periods? Bad habit carried over from Las Vegas series.
Yeah, I mean, you never want to give up any goals, really.
Right.
And especially, I think on the road, giving up to the home team a goal like that, that's going to give them momentum. And you knew they were going to surge in that Game 4 after the way they lost Game 3. So it's tough, but it's also not the end of the world. I thought the Sharks looked like the better team in the second half of the game. So they weren't by any means out of the game. Even in the last 10 seconds, they still seemed to get some chances. So they stuck with it, and they were able to bounce back at least from those two ugly goals, I'd say. They were ugly.
Yeah, and for me tonight, the early goal wasn't so much about the the Blues basically getting a goal there and scoring one. It was about the pressure that they were putting on. And are we good on video here?
Yeah.
Okay, good. It wasn't so much about the fact that the goal went in. It was the pressure from the Blues, and the pressure from the Blues kind of made that happen. No, they didn't score the goal, but Nyquist, it going off of his stick, that happens because of the pressure and the puck luck, right? You do good things in the zone, and good things happen, even if it's not from your stick. So it was unfortunate because you have Jones who's trying to make a play on the puck, and he starts sliding a little bit towards where the puck was going until Nyquist stick hit it, and then it kind of went back short side on him. So some people were saying, oh, it's a soft goal, Jones, you need to have that. And I'm going, guys, come on. Like, just because it goes in the net doesn't mean it's a soft goal, okay? Like, you have to take a look at where the puck was going, right? It was going towards Jones' left. He goes to slide over to make the save, and it gets deflected. Like, it changes direction on him. He's playing the puck where it's supposed to go, and then it goes a different direction on him. Like, that's a hard one to stop. So
I think people just have PTSD from the Jones in the regular season, so they just see this early goal come in.
Yeah.
And at first glance, you're like, oh, that was a soft goal. How did he not stop that? Because it was like right at him.
yeah,
And then they realize, oh, well, it's deflected when you watch the replay.
right.
I think that's just part of it. It's just an overreaction of
Yeah.
people.
Well, and unfortunately, it's not anything new that we've seen. The overreaction has kind of always been there, especially with Martin Jones, right? So, it's a different guy right now that we see in net, and it's a different defense in front of him that we see in net. He's a lot more, I think, able, we'll say, right? And the defense in front of him has been playing a lot better as well. I mean, the fact is, it deflected off Nyquist's stick and it went in, but Nyquist got a stick on it. So he was doing the best that he could to try to keep that puck. Right, he was trying to get that puck out. If his stick is turned a little bit of a different way, maybe the puck goes a little bit wider, or maybe it goes inside instead, or maybe he doesn't get a stick on it and at all, and it hits Jones.
Yeah, it's game of inches,
who knows?
so.
But in other words, he's there. He's challenging the puck. It just is an unfortunate bounce is really all it was. And I just I can't blame Martin Jones for something like that where, he's tracking the initial shot and it's going, wide or not wide, but it changes direction on him and it goes short side. So.
Maybe it's time you bring the stick back to get signed on the other side.
No.
Give him a little pep talk.
No, because you got to bring some scorers stick in here.
It's
but-
Kane.
but-
Get a Kane
Get a
stick.
Kane
Get him
stick.
signed.
But see, this is it. Oh, no, maybe it's time to bring it back. Why? We're 2-2 in the series.
I was joking.
No, but this is
Yeah.
the sentiment, right?
Yeah.
The sentiment is, we lost, we suck. It's like,
Well,
dude, we're 2-2.
The other part is people will go, oh, they could have gone up 3-1,
Yeah.
and the Bruins are just sitting there waiting,
At
Coulda,
this
woulda,
point, go to Game 7. If there's the whole rest versus rust argument, I think it makes more sense to me at this point to just go for rust.
Yeah. It's
If
funny.
you win 5 games, they've rested for 3 days and then they're ready to go.
Yeah.
If you drag it out to Game 7, you're tired, but then they actually do have some rust on them, right?
You guys remember Marshall? Hashtag bring Marshall back.
Yes.
He was at the game tonight in
Nice.
St. Louis. And he was texting back and forth, and he said that he hopes that the Sharks go to 7 games because the Bruins are probably going to have a lot of rust. And he said, mark my words. He
Yeah.
said the exact same thing. So, yeah, there is some truth to that.
Mm-hmm.
How many times did we see in the Eastern Conference where the team that swept got swept? All the way to the Bruins, right?
You know what's hilarious? Yeah, there was the Pittsburgh Penguins got swept by the Islanders.
Yep.
The Islanders got swept by Carolina. Carolina got swept by Boston. So Boston.
There's your proof right there. Proof is in the pudding.
I'll worry about Boston when we get there, right?
I don't
If
know.
we get there.
Hey, even if it's St. Louis,
If it's St. Louis, yeah, that's true.
Boston's getting swept, baby.
John Doe for $2 in the super chat. Thank you very much.
Oh,
By the
thanks,
way, he
John.
was wasn't blaming Jones, just frustrating Trent. Because again, that's
Oh,
that's
yeah.
not Jones. That's everybody.
Yeah, no, I'm not putting that on you, John. I'm just taking what you had said and kind of. I think the fan base in general kind of tends to overreact like that sometimes.
Well, your question
So-
was, am I the only one? And we were saying, no,
No, you're not.
the only one.
Yeah.
By the way, he also mentions Tuka Rusk. Tuka Rust.
To rest.
Yeah.
We'll hope.
Yes.
We'll
So
hope.
Rask, right.
I don't know. We'll see.
All right. Any word on? I know that we were talking about this before the show started, but any word on Carlson? Obviously, we don't have access to him or anything like that. But what happened to him? If you could explain for anybody who didn't see.
He took some big hits tonight. He got knocked around pretty good. I don't think it's an injury. I think he just got kind of banged up and was sore, maybe. I don't know. Because he seemed like he couldn't really move out there. Because they did put him out in the last minute and a half.
Yeah.
When they had the goalie pull, 2 minutes maybe. And he didn't look like he could move. He looked like he was just kind of there for his offense and not playing defense at all.
Yeah. No. He looked like he wasn't wearing skates. He looked like he was just standing there at the blue line, receiving passes and making passes. They even took the puck across the blue line. Like somebody else grabbed the puck. I can't remember who it was. Skated across the blue line right past him. He didn't change his position at all. Generally speaking, when someone skates into your area, you shift. Like you go down low or you cut across back where they just came from to kind of fill in that part of the ice there, right? So as the play is moving around, the puck is moving, and other players are moving and shifting areas, generally kind of everybody shifts as well. They skated right past him. He just stood there on the blue line. Like he wasn't, I can't be bothered to move right now
So
because I can't move right
Do you
now.
think it's his groin again?
It is. It is.
Great.
No, it's definitely his grunt for two reasons. One, what else would it be, right? And then two, they said it when on the broadcast. They're like, hey, during intermission or what do you call it, like a TV timeout, whatever
Yeah.
it was, you see him get out there and he just puts his skate down, does like a sharp
Stretching.
kind of turn. And he goes, and that is exactly the thing that you would do to test out if your groin is feeling okay and good to go. He took, I think, a 10-second shift, maybe. Like he went out, got the puck, passed it up, and I don't think he took a hit or whatever it was. And as soon as he was done, he just turned right back and got on the bench shaking his head. Like, can't do it.
Great.
So, Tim Heed.
You think Carlson will be out the next game?
Tim Heed might be in. If he's going to only be able to play like that, he's not playing. What's
He
the
could
point?
be a power play specialist, basically.
Yeah.
A power play specialist who can't move on the power play.
Yeah, that's
We already have enough problems.
no, exactly. Like that doesn't make sense to me, right?
Well, we did see him in the last 2 minutes, and it worked. And did you see where Burns was?
in the Ovechkin office.
In the Ovechkin office, got a shot off. He hit the side of the net. Looked like it went in. I was very
Yeah.
excited. Exactly what you had said. Have Carlson feed him the puck in that spot.
Yeah.
And it's exactly what they did in not overtime, but in the last 2 minutes,
Mhm.
and it almost worked. And is that how they scored? That is how they scored the goal. Same
Yeah.
thing. Carlson to Burns, and then Hurdle was there. Hurdle and Pavelski were there to poke it in, but Hurdle got his stick on it first.
So and that's again the setup that they like to do. They like to put Pavs down low and Hurdle in the slot, and
Yep.
then usually instead of the one timer from Burns, it's like Jumbo's over there or somebody else is over there, and that'll be a pass down to Pavs below the goal line. Sink Bennington in, or any goalie, sink him into the net,
Yep.
and then one time it back out to the slot where Hurdle's there. And since Bennington, in this case, the goaltender, would be sunk back into the net, more of the net is visible and open to that one-time shot from the slot. So usually you'll see that. In this case, they put Burns there instead. So now you've got Pavs and Hurdle in that net front area. And the one-timer goes up, and I think he initially makes the save. It trickles over his pad, and then both Hurdle and Pavs kind of dove for it. I think Hurdle picked that
Hurdle
one
got
up, though.
it,
Yeah,
yeah.
so he got registered for the goal. But yeah, I mean, it was again, it was created by having Brent Burns in the trigger man spot, right? A right-handed shot on the left-hand side. And you give it to him, and that man has an absolute cannon for a one-timer. I mean, even his wrist shots are ridiculous. I mean, it busted up Pav's face pretty good. So,
Yep.
but yeah, no, I mean, he's got an absolute cannon of a one-timer. So you get him the puck, and you get the goaltender moving, good things are going to happen.
Nathaniel Rice, thank you very much.
Oh.
$1.99 in the super chat. Don't poke the bear, lol.
Thank you so much. Now, is that
Then-
a Bruins pun?
I do not know,
Okay.
but I do. Jason
Nice.
So
Very good. By the way,
That's great.
Nathaniel Arias, right?
correct.
I love that you're still watching and hanging out with us. For those of you who don't know, Nathaniel is a Colorado Avalanche fan who picked us up while we were playing against the Avalanche, and he never left. So
He picked us up while they were playing the Avalanche, and now he's rooting for the Bruins. He's kind of just sitting there waiting to see who's going to end up playing him. So
Just waiting for punishment. Is what
Yeah.
he's waiting for. Man, Bruins are gonna get swept.
so speaking of defensemen though, JP here, man, if only Shemek were in still.
can you imagine?
Yeah,
Oh my goodness.
there
Yeah.
would be so much balance to the defensive.
There really
pairings.
would be. There really would be. But hey, you know what? It is what it is. That's hockey. Sometimes you're gonna get guys that get knocked out, and you got to figure out how to play with it. Like
Next man up.
Game 5, we're gonna see if Erik Karlsson gets knocked out because he can't skate for whatever reason, groin.
You know-
We'll see if Tim Heed steps in and how he does.
That third period when I was watching, I didn't realize that Carlson hadn't been on the ice for a long time. I only noticed when there was 4 minutes left, and I saw Joachim Ryan on the ice, and I go, "Why is he on the ice when they're down by a goal?"
4 minutes left.
And then they like, I don't know, 30 seconds later, it mentioned like Carlson hasn't taken a shift and he's opening the door for everyone. I go, "Oh
Yeah.
no!"
Yeah.
And then I was like, "I bet he's out there for the last minute," and he was,
hmm
just because he's still better than a broken, or
Yeah.
a Joachim Ryan healthy is not as good as a broken Carlson.
I think the idea is much like pulling the goaltender. You're going for broke. You're doing everything you can in the offensive zone. If the puck gets out of the offensive zone, it doesn't matter. You're going to lose the game anyway. So I think that's what they were going for. Was even if you can't move, Eric, we just need the hockey brain and the ability to pass. And if you can do that on your busted up, twisted groin, whatever is going on down there, then we'll take it. So I think that's what was going through their heads. Like, hey, even if you get this thing poked off you or intercepted because you're immobile right now, we're going for broke here. So I think that was the idea. I don't know. We'll have to see what happens again in Game 5. I don't think he should skate. If that's how he's going to be able to skate, I don't think he should.
yeah.
Because you can't sustain that for 60 minutes. And even if you can, you're going to screw yourself up for Game 6 and a potential Game 7 and a potential Stanley Cup run. I would rather him just get himself back into good shape.
So I was not able to watch most of the game, but then if he's injured or if he can't play at 100%, what do we do with Kane then? Because there's
Kane?
been, I mean, like with Evander Kane not playing at 100% for like,
There's
I
a
don't know,
difference. Here's the difference. Evander Kane can skate. Erik Karlsson right now doesn't
he
look
can
like he can
skate, but he's out there to skate and get goals, and he's not
But-
getting goals, and he's not hitting anyone. What
He's
is he out
getting
there to
chances.
Carl-
They're not showing up on the scoreboard. I mean, you look at
Well, he
Evander
got one
Kane today.
assist,
He
but-
got that fast break that he had, a quick pass, and he just blew right past whoever it
Right.
was as a defenseman. Even they were saying on the
I think it's
broadcast,
Pietrangelo.
they're like, look, if this was they put 2 defensemen out there. He goes, do you think they're going to put 2 defensemen out there as their second power play unit because the Sharks like to counter strike, right? And so they did actually. They did put 2 defensemen out there. So it was an interesting call by the broadcast team there. And then, lo and behold, here comes Evander Kane streaking down the right wing boards, and he beats. I think you're right.
I think it was Pietrangelo.
I think it was Pietrangelo. He basically beats Pietrangelo, and it comes around wide, walks around him, and it's like, you know what? If that was a forward, not only does he walk around him, he cuts to the middle of the net as opposed to just trying to get a shot from the outside. So, I mean, it was a good call by the Blues coaching staff to have 2 defensemen out there. But the difference is that if Evander Kane's not getting it done on the score sheet, but by all means, he's still putting the puck on the net. He's still skating. He's able to skate. With Erik Karlsson right now, it looks like he's not really able to skate well, and you're risking injury with him.
It's a different position too because Kane's a forward. He's getting less ice time, 18 to 20 minutes, versus Carlson, when healthy, is getting more 25, 26 minutes, and he has to be able to turn with a groin
and skate backwards.
and skate
Do a lot
backwards, which
different.
is a lot different. It's a different type of skating, which is why like Burns can't switch from forward to defense or defense to forward within like every other game or something, right? Or even in the middle of the game. He's mentioned this before. Burns mentioned where he wanted to know before the season if he's going to play as a defenseman or if he's going to play as a forward. And I think this happened when DeBoer came on as a coach when McClellan left. He was like, okay, what do you want me to do? Do you want me to play defense? Do you want to play forward? Because his whole offseason training is completely different skating regiment than it is for being one of the other positions. So they stuck with him in the defense, obviously. But it's just a different way of skating, and you're going more you're sprinting more. So like a shift for a forward is 30 to 45 seconds. A defenseman's more like 45 seconds to 60 seconds, depending on who you are. If you're Brent Burns, you're out there on the longer part of that. So it's a different conditioning and different. Everything's about it is different. So going back to the injury between Carlson and Kane, there's a big difference when a defenseman gets hurt versus a winger, not even a centerman, but a winger. Because the centerman is the one that's supposed to come back defensively and help out the defense on that third forward on the other team. So the wingers kind of stay at the point and follow the defenseman at the point. So it's a little bit less responsibility in the defensive zone too. So a winger, not to say they have it the easiest of all the skaters, but it's definitely not the hardest position out of all the skaters.
Yeah, the expectation as a winger is to cover the points, right? And to facilitate the breakout. If you're not getting on your horse and starting to get out of the zone as soon as your team gets the puck, you're not facilitating the breakout. So if you're caught in the zone and when the defenseman gets the puck and starts looking up the ice for someone to pass to, and you're still, at the top of the face-off circles, right? Mm-hmm. If you're not getting yourself ready to get out of the zone, you're not helping them get up and out. You're allowing the opposing defense to hold on to the blue line because you're not basically forcing them to get out of the zone by streaking out of the zone, right? So yeah, I mean there's less that's required of the wingers defensively, although again you still have to cover those points, but they're asked almost to kind of cheat and sprint forward a little bit more, whereas the centerman is kind of helping out in the house, right in that middle area there for that third forward that's coming down. So yeah, they do have a little bit easier defensively, but they're asked to do that too. So.
Green Sardonyx, kind of in my head right now too, just same way. It's now it's a best of two out of 3 series now, and I hate it so much already.
Oh yeah, yeah. No.
It's never going to be easy.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
It wasn't going to be easy, and especially beating the Blues twice at home. That was what we said, probably improbable, not impossible, but improbable. I thought the Sharks did a decent job of coming back and almost stealing, I'd say, Game 4 today. Mm-hmm. They could have tied that game up and gone to overtime, and who knows how it went. And if that did, that would have just completely smashed the Blues, man.
Oh, yeah.
Going up 3-1. I mean, the Sharks have been there, and you know how difficult that was.
Yeah.
So I still think the Sharks are playing well. I thought they did, minus the first period tonight, I thought they looked better.
So Joe was one too many. Dylan didn't have the greatest of games tonight, and Alex Wright saying Dylan isn't looking bad. Anyone else noticing that? Or Dylan is looking bad. Anyone else noticing that? Was it a single game? Is he facing injuries, do you think? Or
I don't think he's facing any injuries. I didn't really notice. His play didn't really stand out to me, so I apologize if I don't have much to say about Dylan. The only thing I think was with Dylan was that kind of kooky hooking call. I think that was on him. It didn't really look like a hooking to me. It looked like he just kind of got his stick out one-handed. And
it was pretty. I thought the refs
ticky-tack. This is what you were saying.
I thought
right?
the refs were going to call a little more ticky-tacky stuff tonight, and they did. I thought.
Yeah.
And then the high stick, right?
Oh, the Phantom.
Right.
The Phantom high stick.
Yeah.
Yeah, where I forget who it was.
Was that Dylan?
Maybe that was Dylan.
I think that was Dylan.
Yeah, actually, you know what? That was Dylan. I don't remember who the other one was. Maybe that was Dylan too. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it was Pat Maroon, and the stick hits him in the chest. And I thought it looked a little low to me. I'm like, maybe it probably grazed his chin. But I did think it was kind of weird that he was holding his face for as long as he was. Usually when you get hit in the face with a stick, you go, ow, that sucks. Hey, look at my chin. You suck. And then you start playing again.
It's more of, hey, ref, look at me. I'm holding my face.
This was, when you watch the replay in slow motion, of course, the refs can't see it like this. But when you watch the replay in slow motion, he gets hit in the chest, and he goes, oh, and you can see his eyes. He's looking over at the ref. And he goes like this. He covers his face up, and then he looks back up again, looking over, like with his eyes, looking over at the ref, like, does he see it? And I noticed that he just kind of kept putting his hands in front of his face, like holding his chin, as if, gosh, it really hurts.
Was that an actual call or no?
It was a call. They called high stick.
So they missed it. That's all.
Yeah.
I mean,
no, but okay, there's a difference because that wasn't a missed call. That was what should have been a non-call because it wasn't a penalty, but he sold it.
Right.
Right.
And they're going to look at it at the end of the game, and they'll be like, you know what? That was embellishment too. Oh, well.
The refs will look at that, and if it was really bad embellishment, I think they get fined.
Do they?
By the league. They get fined and warned, or they get warned first for the first one and then fined for the second one. Mm-hmm. But we don't know if they get warned. It's not public. You only know if they got warned when it's public that they got fined for it. Because then you're like, oh, they obviously had done something before, and then you can kind of piece together what it was.
See, and for as much, remember the last show, we got the hashtag cheaters, right? For the headline or whatever
Yeah.
for the Sharks. Remember? For as much as some of the other fan bases want to say, "Oh, they're cheating," right? With the hand pass, that was cheating. That wasn't cheating. That was him knocking the puck down, trying to make a play on it, and then it was unfortunate that they missed. That nobody else touched it, or that it was a hand pass, and then the Sharks had touched it, right? In this scenario, yeah, that's basically cheating. You're trying to there's a phantom call.
Diving.
You're like, oh, my face. Like, okay, that's different, right? So I don't know. I just think it's funny that everybody's all up in arms about how the Sharks have benefited from all these referees calls and everything else, and it's like
I wish the league would go back and punish a little bit more severe for that for embellishing, just because I think when you hit people with fines and you make it public, I think that's kind of more embarrassing, and you don't want to do it again because. I mean, they should know at this point there's so many cameras that they're not going to miss anything. And that should be the point, that you can't do that because you're going to get fined for it no matter what. Sure, you're in the heat of the moment and your emotions are running high during the game.
You're trying to help your team.
You're trying to help your team, but just don't cheat.
There was a great one that Thornton did a couple of years back, and I think they were playing Vancouver at the time. And it's like the two guys are not involved in the play. I don't remember who slashed him, but some guy slashes him across the skates, and they go to call the slash, and Thornton looks down at his skates like, "Oh wait, hang on," and just like flops to the ground, and they called him on it. And I was like, "Come on, man!"
Yeah,
it was hilarious, but don't do that.
Yeah.
I want to go back up. Well, first I want to say Nathaniel Arias, $1.99 in the super chat. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you.
Sharks in 6 still, 4-2 Sharks final for Game 5 is what's calling.
Okay.
But I do want to go back up quite a ways here to Anthony Sanchez. Are you guys worried about Pavelski? He doesn't seem right. Do you think he's 100% yet? Do you think he's?
I think he's fine. I think he's healthy. I think it's just tonight he should have had a goal. Hurdle got his stick on it right before he did. So if Hurdle did not get his stick on there, Pavelski would have scored tonight. So he'd been on the score sheet.
Yeah.
I think it's just St. Louis stifling that top line. I think it's more that story than Pavelski not doing enough. I think they're just doing a good job of containing them, if you will. I think for St. Louis, their top two lines aren't really getting it done. It's more of their third and fourth lines that are chipping in and getting the goals, and have been all playoffs, not even just this series. They are a deep team, and thankfully and hopefully that those top two lines don't get rolling, because then the Sharks are going to get in some big trouble. But Tarasenko hasn't done much. Going back to what Marshall was texting me, he said that the fans around him were pissed at Pietrangelo and pissed at Tarasenko because they haven't done much. So their own fans are kind of angry at those guys. I mean, imagine if Logan Couture and Brent Burns weren't doing anything in the playoffs and everyone else was contributing. You'd get a little upset with them, right?
Yeah.
Over time, you'd be like, we're in the third round, you still haven't been scoring goals. Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
So that's kind of what it's like for Blues fans right now.
All right, I got a question from Bears. Oh my gosh, Bear versus Sean. I don't know what I have a problem with that name. It's so easy. So Bear versus Sean, $3 in the super chat. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
3 keys to winning a best of 3 series.
Well, you got 2 at home, so win your home games.
That's an easy. That's okay.
It's an easy key. I mean, and then if you break that down, you got to win those battles and use your home crowd to your advantage, and don't let the other team quiet them. Basically, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's pretty simple.
Yeah, no, I don't think there needs to be 3 keys. I think one key is plenty.
Don't lose your home games.
Yeah, I think basically what Aaron's saying about the home crowd, I think is huge, right? So use the home crowd to your advantage. There's been lots of times that we've seen. I mean, obviously there was a particular Game 7 where it was pretty useful being at home. But the fans do inject energy into the players. At the same time, if you're not doing your job on the ice, the fans can't get into it. So again, this is where it comes into, like the game today with St. Louis. St. Louis played at home. They scored a goal really early. It wasn't that their skill kicked in. They got some puck luck, but it was a product of the pressure and the zone entry that they got, on the Sharks.
And that was a failed clear. Or no, the second one was a failed clear. Which one was a failed clear on Burns?
First one.
That was the first goal.
He was behind the net, and he got slammed. He got body checked pretty good.
He tried to get rid of the.
Yeah.
I think, and that might be a product of not talking enough on the ice. I know Baker was saying these guys talking's free.
Talking is free. Yeah, I think Hedekin. That's Hedekin.
Is it Hedekin?
Yeah,
Okay.
Talking is free, right? If like we said with St. Louis, they got on the board early, and it was a product of the pressure, not so much the skill, but it got the crowd into it, and I think that had a lot to do with the amount of sustained pressure that they had in that first period all the way through. And that first intermission comes, and then all of a sudden, tides kind of change a little bit. It's Sharks are feeling pretty good and pumped and ready to go as well, right? So I think that had they scored right away in that first period, and in the second period, you'd see that momentum carrying throughout the second. That's why it was such a killer in the Vegas series when we had goal in the first couple seconds. It away, it's like now the Vegas fans are all into it,
Exactly.
So I think that's what one of the things that Aaron's getting at when he says use the home crowd to your advantage is not just expect that they're going to pump energy into you. Give them a reason to pump energy into you, and that would be go out there, play hard the first shift for everybody on the team. Play as hard as you can, get out there and show the crowd that you're ready to come with it. And don't worry about getting too tired because they give you the energy that you need as long as you're doing good things out there. So.
All right.
That would be my key.
Oh well, is that how many keys is that? I want to make sure
That's
he gets
one
all
key.
three.
One.
Use the home crowd to your advantage.
Yeah.
One key.
So it's a very long one key with multiple points. All right, I'll take it.
I think that's okay.
Alex Wright.
Audio problems again.
Oh, we're having audio problems again.
We're working, but it's dropping out.
Make sure to listen to the podcast after this because we do record this and it should be completely uninterrupted. Alex Wright has a question here. It's a two-part question.
Yes.
What feeling do you guys have on the series now that we are 4 games in?
It's a best of 3, and I mean, if I can describe the team in one word, the Sharks team is resilient. I think if you watch this first period tonight, you'd be like, Sharks are done. Like they're not going to win this game tonight because the Blues were pressing so hard, and the Sharks couldn't seem to do anything right. They go into the intermission and they come back out, and they were like a different team in that second period.
Yeah.
And then they do it again in the third period, and they were an even better team. So this team, I feel like you can never count these guys out.
So the idea is we have a gremlin chewing on cables that is reminiscent of Drew Doughty with technical difficulties in the background.
Hey,
Somebody photoshopped that together.
Oh, we're back now. Okay, good. Now, so going off of what Aaron was saying, we're being resilient, right? I was, again, going to quote Drew Remenda and say, use the word stick-to-itiveness. In other words, they stick to it, right? And I think that they did in this case.
Yeah.
I think DeBoer did the whole line blender thing a little bit there. If you noticed, Kane, Donskoy, and Hertl got reunited. So that was great. But I think, they just kept plugging away. There was no give in their game there in the end where they were just trying to push and push and push and get it done. How do I feel about this series? Well, I feel great. It's tied up 2-2. St. Louis Blues are a very good team. We're a very good team. We've been saying that we're very equal in many ways, that we're deep, that both teams are going to be able to hurt you. The goaltending has been pretty good on both ends as well. In fact, in terms of number of goals that have gone in, I think we're back to being equal again. So I don't know. I think it's a good position to be in. Now, it doesn't feel, from a fan base perspective, maybe it doesn't feel as good because we lost Game 4. Again, Game 4 being the most pivotal, where we could have been up 3-1, and now we're only tied. Right. So what if we had lost Game 3 again? Okay, well, if we lose that game, then we're down 3-1. Okay, that's the end of the world, right? But if we win that game, we're back to being 2-2 again, and gosh, we feel great, right? Because our team just won. It's the same outcome. It's win-loss versus win-loss win. It's the same outcome.
It doesn't matter how you got there.
As long, and Aaron made the point while we were offline for a second there of, you just have to focus on the next game. Okay, so in terms of what do they need to look at in terms of winning 2 out of these 3 games, you only have to look at the next game. So look at the next game and just focus on what you can do to win that one next game, right? And some of the things, again, that stick-to-itiveness, that resiliency, that using your home crowd like we've talked about in terms of it being a key to a game. That's what you're going to need to do and focus in on just that one game. And once you get over that hurdle, then you can worry about Game 6. Then you can worry if there's a potential Game 7. But for right now, I think the San Jose Sharks are very focused on just that one game, Game 5. And the same thing for tonight. I'm sure they were focused on just Game 4. Let's see if we can get a 3-1 series lead. Because again, like I had said, look, I imagine that the St. Louis Blues are not going to go out like that. I don't think the St. Louis Blues are going to drop both of their home games. Yeah. Right? You have to imagine that they're going to win one of the 2, and it just so happens we won the first. I didn't think the Blues were going to go out like that. So it's 2-2.
They almost did go out like that.
They almost did, but they didn't. Right. So, but it's 2-2, and rightfully so. These are 2 very evenly matched teams. Go ahead, Joe.
Jason is grinding at Paul or Aaron a little bit. He's saying he thinks that you make all of your good points offline.
Whereas Paul makes no good points.
Well, you make good ones, and then we ask, and then you forget what they are later on.
And then he takes my points when we go back on.
What? I was saying stick-to-itiveness before you open your mouth.
Don't worry, Paul. They're also asking you if you can spell stick-to-itiveness.
Yeah, I can.
Okay, just checking.
Stick.
Do you want me to?
No. Yeah, go ahead and try.
STICKIT. Oh wait, no. TOITIV. Be quiet.
To recap, I think you guys were talking about Dylan earlier, but he just had a bad game tonight. I mean, it's kind of like but overall, he's not injured. He's fine. It's just he had a bad game tonight. I think overall for Dylan. Yeah. Somebody was asking.
I don't think he has a problem. I don't think he's injured or anything. I think he's fine. People have bad games every now and then. I think he just bad luck kind of tonight with some of the calls.
I mean, personally, I'm not even sure that he necessarily really had a bad game. I mean, again, he didn't stick out to me. I'll put it that way. He didn't stick out to me. Yeah, he got a penalty, maybe 2, whatever it was. But usually when someone's like having an atrocious game, it's like, gosh, that guy, But I don't know. He didn't stand out to me. So I don't know if he did or didn't really have a bad game.
All right, Bear versus Sean. I figured I got it that time.
Good job.
Sharks are looking strong against the Blues. Binnington and Jones are duking it out, but I think the Sharks have a little extra depth, provided we don't have more injuries coming up in Game 5 probably now.
But even having the injuries, that's the beauty of having the depth, right? I mean, just last game we had Donskoy playing on the 4th line. So,
I think it's a big deal if Karlsson misses games. I think the Sharks are in trouble, and I think this is what the Blues are hoping for. considering they kept targeting him and hitting him every chance that they got. They knew he was a broken man and tried to break him some more.
What's the word we keep using?
Stick-to-itiveness?
Invest. Yeah. Yeah. Invest.
I failed that one.
No, seriously, invest, right? I mean, that's what they were doing. We're going to hit Carlson. He may not be Burns. He may not be putting up all the points that Burns is putting up, and he may not be the offensive threat and weapon that Burns has shown himself to be so far, but we know that he's got a problem. And he's very big on the blue line for the Sharks.
It's really annoying that this strategy worked.
Yeah, if we continue to pound away at this guy, eventually we're going to break him down. Now, he may not be the top weapon on the blue line for the Sharks, but he's probably number 2.
He's probably the best puck moving.
Right?
I think he's better moving the puck than Burns is.
So you take Carlson out of the game, again, Game 5, maybe you got to play Tim Heed now. Is Tim Heed Erik Karlsson? Hell no, right? So, they invested. They threw the body at him enough, and it worked.
Let's wait to see what it actually is, but
well, it still worked.
Yeah.
He may come back, but it still worked. So
yeah, that's why I wish they would have won today, because then it would have been like, yeah, it worked, but you guys are done.
3-1 teams are never done, Aaron.
Right.
4-1 teams are done.
that
Thanks,
is true.
Joe.
You're welcome. That's math. I
didn't know that.
I actually had to look it up. I looked it up before I said it, just to be sure.
That's math.
By the way, the game on Sunday is a 12 p.m. game.
It is a noon game.
It is the dreaded noon game. Do the Sharks play better or worse? Do the Blues play better or worse? Are the Blues gonna play better because it's 3 p.m. for them? Or
I don't know about noon. I know the 1 o'clock games.
It's not 3
were
p.m. for
horrible,
them, anyways.
but
It's just weird because what?
I'm sorry, it's not 3 p.m. It's what, 2?
No, it's 3 p.m.
Are they
wait,
fully
for
Eastern?
St. Louis?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's probably 2.
They're 2 hours.
Yeah, they're 2 hours. So
It's just weird because for a normal a normal hockey game starts around, depending on where you play, 7:30 sometimes. The players usually have a morning skate, then they go home and take a nap, wake up, kind of do like another little skate, or get to the arena and get their stuff on. I think there's 2 different warm-ups before the game.
Yeah.
Then play the game. And so when you don't get that nap in, it seems like the Sharks are taking a nap during the game.
And you've related to hockey players to toddlers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, a long time ago. You
Yeah.
did that.
Because
They're
I have a
toddlers.
toddler. Yeah,
They're
they're
toddlers.
toddlers. They are. There's playtime. They wake up, breakfast, playtime.
Nap.
Then they take a nap, and then they wake up. They want to eat a little snack, play a little bit more, and then it's go time.
Yeah. That's great.
Yeah.
This is one thing that we wanted to bring up. Actually, you know the story about this more so than I do. So
Yeah, and I don't think I'm not sure if this guy, I don't know if he's on YouTube or not. He usually listens to us on podcasts, and his Instagram name is XVX Fitness 619. I can't read the rest of it. He has his dog, and I forget the dog's name. I think it's Pico. Unfortunately, Pico has been with him for over 10 years and a very good luck charm, and he had to say goodbye to his dog tonight. So, Chica. I just wanted to give a shout out to him. He lives in San Diego. He is one of the first people to buy some of our stuff back, I think in December. That was me. I dropped my phone.
You know, you call
Green.
someone now.
Oh. Whoops.
Our mom
So-
answered.
Sorry.
This show is
Yes.
going great.
That was my wife. I just
So awesome.
butt dialed her. Sorry.
So Chica, I guess, had to be.
I guess you
sleep.
had to put her down.
So-
So I'm very sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
And if you guys want to give him a little shout out, that'd be great. You can find him on Instagram. But anyway, his backstory is he lives in San Diego. He's surrounded by Gulls fans and Ducks fans, and only listens to us pretty much to relieve himself of those other news, kind of. So give him a little shout out here, and thanks for being a fan. And I'm sure you guys can relate because I know I've put a dog down in my lifetime, and it's awful.
So there's another picture of Chica again. So really cute dog. It's a shame, and yeah, it's hard because they become family. So very sorry for your loss there, buddy. Hopefully you feel better as the days go by. So
Hopefully the Sharks can pull out a win in the series.
that would be great. Yeah, win it for Chica.
Yep.
So kind of
Misfit. By the way, I want my condolences as well. Everyone also in the chat right now is like, you've made everyone sad.
Before you say that, I want to go back really quick to something that one of our users I think had brought up. he was very impressed with the community that we've kind of built and everything. And I say we built, but really it's you guys building it too, because it's how you guys interact. And so that's one of the things that I just wanted to bring up just now, the fact that everybody's in there saying, hey, I saw something on the screen just now, RIP, and offering condolences to this guy who lives in San Diego, and by all means none of you guys know, I'm sure, but it just means a lot, I think, for us as a community to kind of reach out and say something like that to somebody who's lost their pet. And it's a bigger deal. So especially for that guy, I'm sure when he listens to this, he'll hear this and he'll be thankful. So, but I know you're only listening on podcasts and you're not really in the YouTube comments, but people are thinking of you. So there you go. Go ahead.
Misfit, do you guys think that the Sharks need to pick up their physical game, or should we just stick to the lack of physical play that we've got now?
I would love to see the physical play get bumped up a notch. Okay, I know we don't have the big guys left. Like Evander Kane, he's probably got something going on with the shoulder, like you said. And if he throws that shoulder around, he's probably going to hurt himself more than is necessary, right? But I like to see the little guys step up, right? I want to see Barclay Goodrow start throwing a little bit more. I want to see the big guy, Timo Meier. I want to see him throw the body around a little bit more. I want to see more investment from these other guys, especially the role players like Melker Karlsson. If we get Haley back in the lineup, definitely want to see him start getting in there and getting scrappy again. I want to see him throw these guys off of their game. And if that means dropping the gloves with someone on their team, they don't have anybody that scares me in terms of a fighter. So I would love to see Haley get in there, really bang, and start mixing it up. Get under their skin to where they want to fight them.
He wasn't in the lineup tonight, right?
He was not in the lineup tonight.
And
no.
Sorensen was.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then was that from an injury or just a healthy scratch?
I think it was an injury. I thought he got banged up in the last game.
He got slashed hard
times,
on the wrist. Yeah. So maybe Sorensen was a healthy scratch, but I feel like Sorensen was kind of bumped a little bit from game 2.
He was a healthy scratch for sure.
Well, I think he got bumped around a little bit, and he probably wasn't feeling too great, and they just said, we're scratching him.
Right.
As opposed to, you sucked, and we're going to put you on the bench.
I think Haley brings a lot of good energy to that team, and he's a very good teammate. Everyone absolutely loves him, so it's just kind of like the mixer of the room, kind of, like the catalyst of getting guys going. He may not be playing a lot of minutes, but he's talking and chirping, and he's helping the team out, just his presence of being there. So I'd like to see him back if he's healthy, and I don't know if he is.
I would love to see him back in the lineup. I mean, we played game 3 with him, and we won game 3. We didn't play game 4 with him.
Did you notice Sorensen out there tonight?
I did, because I looked at his number and went, oh, Sorensen's playing, right? That's why.
That's it.
So I mean, that's not to say Sorensen needs to be scratched, but I would like to see Haley jump into the lineup there. So hopefully he gets back in. And I think it's time. I think it's really time for somebody on that team to start hitting again.
I don't know if they really need to start hitting anymore.
I think they do.
I think it's too late at this point. I think you need to, because you can't invest already. There's only 3 games left.
Forget about investing, okay? At this point, you need to start hitting people so that they're panicked.
Hit somebody?
Anybody, yes. No, at this point, you need to hit somebody so that they're worried in that moment, in that game, right? About, okay, who's coming on me right now? Or, I got to get rid of this puck quickly. Pressure, right? When you are skating really hard at somebody and you're only doing like swooping stick checks, they're not afraid of you. They're not going to panic about moving that puck quickly. They're not going to make the wrong decision instead of giving that extra split second to think about what they need to do. When you are coming at them and they go to make a play with the puck and all of a sudden they get drilled and dropped to the ice, the next time the puck comes to them, they don't want to get hit again, and they're thinking twice about what they're doing out there on the ice. They're second guessing themselves. They're rushing to make a play instead of getting the opportunity to really think it through. And I don't think it's never too late to hit somebody. Obviously after 0.6 seconds or whatever, then it's too late.
There literally is a time.
There's a time, yeah. But I mean, to saying we should start hitting people, I don't think there's ever a time where you should say, it's too late for that. It's okay. Don't worry about it.
See, I'd rather less have him hitting and more of winning those one-on-one battles. Mm-hmm. Like getting the puck and winning the one-on-one battle. Hitting them or not. I would like them to hit, yes, but I want them to hit them to get the puck and kind of beat them out with their speed
Yeah.
a little
You got
bit more.
shoot with a purpose, hit with a purpose, right?
Yeah.
You also got Tillian Lieberman in the super chat. Thank you very much. 99 cents, and then followed up by 99 cents. 2 in there. If you got anything to say, let us know. There's no comments attached to it.
Maybe he's learning how to use the super chat.
That's perfect. Keep
Thank you.
learning. Keep trying, buddy. I always tell my son, the only way we get better is if we practice. So you just keep practicing with that super chat.
Bear versus Sean, $2. $1 for each post that Burns hit tonight.
Crossbar.
Wow.
He had 2 crossbars, I think, didn't he?
I think
That was the top of the
I don't know.
crossbar,
I
and
don't
then
know.
one was down, and it went down and across. Like, just brutal, man. That's like less than an inch, and that's a goal.
Yeah.
Yep. All
Oh,
right,
well.
then. Well, thanks for the $2.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you. Other comments? Or
Let's see. No, I gotta read. You're making me read again. I gotta fill time by talking. And
Well, while we're filling
no,
that
hold
time,
on,
why
hold
don't
on.
we plug the store?
Yes, plug, go ahead.
Go for it.
Okay, cool. What's that?
Go for it.
Okay, cool. So if you visit www.thefinfactor.com, there is a little 3 lines at the top there. Click that, and it says support the show. Click on that, and you'll get to our store where we have T-shirts in the gray, black, and teal variety. We also have the deep V-cut for women's. It's a black shirt as well as hats, which are snapback and beautiful, and 3 packs of stickers, which you can put on your toaster.
I did see a comment earlier from Sonic something, I can't remember the name, saying that instead of the super chat, he went and bought a hat, and my watch
Sonic Tonic.
vibrated
There you go.
and
Sonic Tonic, there
came
you go.
through. So he literally did buy a hat. So
And
thank you.
If you need to practice buying hats, by all means, continue buying hats until you get it right.
Hey, real
So-
quick, when you guys were talking about making investments and making people think, the guy I thought of that nobody likes, Rafi Torres, right?
Yeah.
When he was out there, though, for like the 6 or 7 seconds before he got in the penalty box or thrown off, he would make people like constantly checking themselves, looking around, and making them make bad decisions because they know he's gonna try to hit you as hard as he possibly can. So it's like you don't have to be out there to be an offensive weapon, but you're making an impact on the game.
Yeah.
Pun, if you want to be right. You're
That's
but you're
kinda like
literally
what Haley does. When Haley's on the ice,
exactly.
people keep their head up and they're looking for him because they know he's coming. So they have to, like, if they have the puck, they have to think a little bit quicker and try and get rid of it and get their head up after they get rid of it because they know he's coming. And so that makes them just that slight little hesitation or the timing issue. It just throws them off just a little bit. So it is a factor.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And for a guy like Haley, he's already got that attached to his name. But I think, even for guys like Barclay Goodrow, for instance, where it's not necessarily he's going to go out there and hit you. If all of a sudden Barclay Goodrow starts hitting you in that game, it doesn't even have to be like down the road. You're not trying to wear somebody down like they did with Erik Karlsson. But just in that game, all of a sudden you're going, oh gosh, this guy keeps hitting me.
Yeah.
Right? And yeah, you got to get rid of the puck before he comes and hits you, because if he hits you and then you're down, he's just going to take the puck right there, right? So more often than not, they're going to try to unload that puck to somebody else, anybody else, before they get hit. And when you're making a panic play like that, you're more apt to make the wrong play or a bad pass, right? So that's what I'd like to see. Not so much the hitting for the investment, because again, like you're saying, it is kind of late at this point to hit for an investment. But I'm saying hit to make them make the wrong play, hit to make them panic, hit to get them to have a bad pass here and there, or a quick play instead of being able to think it all the way through, right? And I think that's one of the things that Erik Karlsson's so good at, is that he makes it look like he's going to do something, gets them to react to whatever it is they think he's going to do, and then he pulls away with the puck, and he has time and space now, right? And that's one of the things he does so well. And I think if we don't have Erik Karlsson doing that, it's going to make it that much more difficult on whoever has to step in to play that role, probably Tim Heed. And Game 5 would be a great time to equal the playing field by throwing the body around on their defensemen and their forwards and force them to make bad passes.
Well, you know what? The Warriors are doing without KD, so we can do it without Karlsson, all right?
Okay.
Those sports and those teams are quite the same, right?
sure.
I mean,
It's totally relatable.
Alex Wright, $6. Thank you very much in the
Thank you.
super chat. Thanks for doing these, guys. $6 for the Sharks. Going to close it out in 6.
There we go.
Okay, I like that.
I'll take it. By the way, Paul Sonic Tonic, unfortunately, he got it right on the first try.
Sonic Tonic.
He was the one who purchased the hat.
Yeah.
He got it right on the first try, so he's not going to be trying anymore.
Okay, that's all right. That's good.
Let's
your
go.
friends.
We didn't do this last week. Let's do roll call.
Got 73 watching right now. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
let's do roll call. Where are you watching from, and how'd you find us? And let us know if you're not a Sharks fan, or those are going to assume you are a Sharks fan. How about that?
Okay.
That's a little easier.
Yeah. So if you're a St. Louis fan, welcome first of all, and thank you for being cordial. Because I don't think many people. I mean, I'm not reading the chat, but it doesn't seem like there's a whole lot of you guys suck and whatever.
There were some people. It's. I think tonight we have less people watching because one, it's a Friday night. What are we doing here, right?
Right.
So
Less controversial game.
Yeah,
compared to
less
the last?
controversial game, and I think people get up for a win a little bit more, so we see a little bit more. But that being said, let's talk about while people are kind of if they're putting in the roll call here.
We got a question from Stevenson Yee real quick.
That's what I was gonna say.
Oh,
but go ahead.
Oh, since I'm going to go to Game 5, Paul will be here. But I'm going to Game 5. He wants to know what time we're going to be
Sorry.
on.
Real quick, Joe is legitimately pouting, right?
No, I'm not pouting. You're pouting.
What did we pick a time, like a solid time?
Did we say
I think
3:30?
we should aim for 3:30.
3:30.
Right. We're not going to wait until 9 because that would just
No.
We'll also be up against Game of Thrones, which is the last episode ever.
Yeah, but nobody's going to watch it because
we will have 5 people watching us, and that would be my mom, my wife, your wife, Paul.
I'd be
Joe's
watching.
wife.
I think
Joe.
we'll aim for 3:30 so that Aaron has a chance to get here when we start. Because by the time the game ends,
Do you want to start at 5:30 so I can go downtown and drink and then?
why don't you go ahead and drink and then come on anyway?
Joking.
I trust you.
That's a joke. That's a joke.
No, I don't. That was a joke.
All right, Aaron, you don't have your laptop to read these off right
I
now.
know I don't.
Yeah.
So Jake, you could post them up on the screen a little bit. Give everyone a couple seconds up there, and you guys can read them. And then Joe, if you see any that stick out, you can just read them off.
Well, I'm looking for
Mute my mic.
mute your mic. Let's see. Man.
Thanks.
Did you guys see the Boston prices for the finals tickets? I guess finals tickets are for sale already in Boston because they know they're going to have home, right?
They have home ice.
So games 1 and 2, I guess face value is $599 already for the last row, upper, like top of the.
I bet.
I've been there. I was actually at a game this season in Boston, and I bought a ticket to the second to last row, and their upper deck is not as deep as ours. There's not as many seats. It seemed a lot smaller. It seemed like a lot. Like I would say it was only maybe 12 or 14 rows, and I think ours go in that one part behind the goal. I think it goes like 20 or something, right? Almost.
I think it's
18
18 or so. Yeah.
Like it's pretty deep back there. So when I was there, it felt very small compared to SAP. But I think they have 3 tiers.
I was gonna say they probably have 3 tiers then.
Yeah. So it's a different layout, different setup. So I was. Quick story there, I guess. When I bought those tickets, the second to last, we were looking down and there was row 4 right behind the glass. There was nobody there for the whole first period. I'm like eyeing him like a hawk. I'm like, we're going down there. So me and my buddy Matt, who's a Bruins fan, we go down there and we just walk in like we own the place. Like, yeah, okay. Just walk in, sit down, and like, hey, like chatting with the people around us. Nobody asked for a ticket. Nobody said a thing. We sat there the rest of the game.
Nice.
So I got to sit right by the penalty box in row 4
Nice.
for a game for whatever the $10, $15 I paid in the last minute for the game. It's fantastic.
Well, now you're gonna have to pay 500 and something for those tickets.
I'm not paying 500 for that ticket. Sorry.
Any other questions? Or are we ready for doing for the roll call?
Well, Neil, he's been popping them up on the screen here as we've been going.
Paul, is that Dutch Brother coffee?
That's what I was going to ask.
No. This is
Sorry, Joe.
actually
No, it's fine. It's fine. I don't mind
This
at all.
this is actually.
Special powers.
Well, he was.
Aaron has special powers. Yeah.
We trained him. He'd been on the laptop looking at it as I was. So
This is just Tapioca Express. That's all it is. So
It's not even coffee.
no, it's not coffee. Yeah. Well, you want to know what it is?
They're asking.
They're asking
The
what
people
it is.
want to know.
People want to. It's an avocado smoothie.
Oh,
Actually,
sounds
I know
terrible.
It sounds terrible, but it's actually really. Got turned on to it and it's killer. So.
all right, I got.
Can of tuna.
I scrolled back.
Meal. Like,
Did you spread it on your toast?
no.
Hey, I put avocado in tuna fish sometimes instead of
Okay,
mayonnaise.
That's normal.
This show has gone.
Is that
strange.
normal? I don't know. I
They're
heard.
now a cooking show.
Yeah.
So real quick, Anthony Sanchez crashed the net. This is back to I think keys for game 5. And in general, how you can beat the Blues here. Crash the net and let St. Louis D-men push the Sharks player into Bennington, make his life difficult, make him uncomfortable.
Sort of.
We say that every series.
No.
Get traffic.
We say get traffic. That's different, right? We get in his eyes.
Right.
Right.
And that's how the Sharks scored tonight.
Yeah.
They weren't necessarily in his eyes completely because he saw the puck come through from Burns. He had a clean look of it at least. He just couldn't get it.
Get him moving though.
Right.
Right.
And he couldn't make. He kind of made this. We'll say he made the save and it kind of squeaked through him. I think if the Sharks players weren't there, he would have turned around and dove on it and stopped it. So, but thankfully both Pavelski and Hurdle were right there. I think one of the defensemen was there too, but he was just too far behind. So yeah, I agree. Get some traffic and get him off his game. The other thing, going back to hitting, I do think they should hit because they're going to be at home. So they're going to get the crowd more into it. As soon as any hit that gets landed, they're going to go nuts. So that's just going to get the crowd going even
It'll
more.
get the crowd going berserk because they don't see a whole lot of hitting out of the San Jose Sharks. So
Someone did mention
a hit gets thrown.
The crowd loves
crowd's
the
gonna
hits.
go.
That's what I was saying. Maybe one of the keys of the game is in the first 5 minutes, like, pick a fight. You know, if Haley's playing, or if Heed's playing, or whomever.
You don't really see a lot of fights anymore in playoffs.
No, I know, but you get into like who's their big guy?
Edmondson or the defenseman?
Yeah,
Edmondson.
He's a big dude.
He's a big dude. Yeah.
No, I'm thinking of the guy who last name starts with an S, and I cannot remember it for the life of me right now. But anyways, basically go out there, hit, start with a few hits in the first few minutes.
Yeah.
And if they're getting antsy to go with it and get the crowd into it early, get your team into it early.
I think it's
and you're taking your fourth line energy guy out to maybe take one of their top D out.
That's what I was saying was get him out there, throw some hits around, right? Pound them in the boards, agitate them, get them upset to the point that where they want to fight you, right?
I think it's going to be a feisty, hard-fought game. I think it's going to get dirty. Not dirty like they're going to have dirty hits or anything. Just it's going to be a nastier game. I think you're going to see a lot more edge come out. It's now going to be the fifth game that we're seeing each other, and they hate each other at this point. So I think we're going to see a little bit more nastier stuff.
How many people on the Blues and the Sharks were there? 4 years ago? Is there a lot of history? I mean, it's not like we go and face them every year, but
he was a pretty young guy. Pietrangelo was there. I think Alex Steen was there. If he wasn't there, he was on Toronto. He bounced around a little bit.
Perron might have been there.
Perron, maybe, yeah.
3 stints with the St. Louis Blues?
2.
I think on the radio they said 3.
Oh,
yeah,
maybe it was.
It's amazing. Figure it out, man. You want to stay or not?
Yeah, right.
Laura, I'm gonna go with Quijano.
Okay.
Got to get shots through the first layer of blocks. Got to hit the net. Sharks missed high a lot trying to pick corners. Got to make Bennington make the save and the rebounds. He's been leaving juicy ones. Carlson's was ears, right? Just shoot it right at his ears because he's got a great glove. So it's like if you got to put it up near his neck, and he can't necessarily go for it.
Are you saying Carlson as in Melker?
No, Carlson's goal yesterday.
Okay,
I think,
Eric Carlson yesterday.
I think they've been shooting high on him. Like that's kind of the MO. I think almost every round they've been shooting high on all the goalies.
But if you're gonna shoot high, at least like to back to Laura's point, hit the net, make him make the save, make him cough up a rebound.
You sent out that stat right from the feed of St. Louis about the save percentage of Jones, like high stick, low stick.
No.
High glove. Someone sent that to us. I forgot who it was.
What did it say? In terms of
basically his high glove was his weak point.
Jones was.
In terms of save percentage, yeah.
Jones was. Which is funny because when I went to the practices, that's kind of the one that stood out to me was high glove.
Yeah.
Yeah, and of course you don't want to tweet that out, because all the other teams are looking at our account.
No idea. They don't have their own scouts or anything.
No, they're looking at me.
Right.
Whatever. But no, yeah, high glove. You could tell there are a lot of times where he'd get beat high glove, and obviously really good shots still, but that's where the guys were firing. So I think he's worked on that though. I think he's gotten better. But
yeah. Well, going back to Laura's point, I think Bennington has been giving up a lot of rebounds. I don't think his rebound control is not quite there as in terms of like an elite level for a goalie that should be or is considered kind of an elite goalie. I think he gets a little bit of benefit from his defenseman coming in and clearing that out. So I think if you get some traffic in there and I mean, it looked like tonight in that last minute when they had that scrum in there, I thought a couple of times it was going to squirt out and someone was going to put it in, which I think Burns almost did on one of them. So yeah, I think you keep doing that, especially on the power plays. You're gonna ruffle his feathers a little bit and get some goals, get some at least good chances.
Yeah.
So if we're gonna get some goals, then Shark Attack asks, I have a question: of all of the offensive players, which one has to step up in Game 5?
If he can,
Maybe it has to, or who will? You
Hurdle.
think?
I think Hurdle needs to step up. I mean, he got a goal tonight, but I think he needs to
Yeah.
dominate more like he did in the very first series against Vegas. I think he needs to step his game up a little bit, just a little bit more, and kind of put the team on his shoulders if he can. I'd say Hurdle, Couture, and Pavelski.
I'm surprised you didn't say Meyer, because Meyer for me is a guy that, I mean, especially coming on, he's looking to get paid, right?
I think
especially for a guy that's looking to get paid. I would think that this
Yeah.
guy is putting a lot more into it, not just trying to put the puck in the net, but again, being physical. That's what he is. He is a power forward. He's a physical presence that has really good hands and a really good shot. And I haven't seen enough from him offensively as much as I'd like to see. And I certainly haven't seen enough from him physically. So I don't know if there's a problem with him. I don't think there is. I think he's just not doing it. And I think he needs to invest more in not just hitting other people as an investment like we've been talking about, but in his own play style. I think he needs to play more like that for the Sharks to be more successful than they already are. I think Timo's got more to give. And I'm looking forward to him giving it because that's kind of what we need from him. We need the depth scoring, and whether you like it or not, I don't care what line he plays on. Right now, he can add some really good, solid scoring depth by getting on the board, and by, if he's not going to get on the board, by throwing the body around. That's what Joe was talking about over here with Evander Kane. Look, if you're not going to put the puck in the net, you got to do something out there to hit somebody, right? Well, if he's incapable of hitting people right now because his shoulder has some sort of an injury. And
Hip check somebody.
Yeah, hip check someone. Right. Well, if there's no problem with Timo, then you've got no excuse.
Right.
Go out there and play the game that you are meant to play. And that means hit people when you have the opportunity. Don't just skate up to them and poke check them, okay? Especially when they're up against the boards because they got nowhere to go. Right? It hit them. And then, yeah, I'd like to see more offensively from him too because I know he's capable and I know he's driven the net a few times, and that's all well and good, but I'm just not seeing enough of it, I think, out of Timo.
Somebody saying I think Thornton's going to have a good game.
Yeah.
I'd love to see that. I'd love to see him his second multi-goal game of the playoffs ever.
I'd like to see that Thornton line just get going.
Yeah, I would rather see him get some nasty assists.
Yeah.
If I'm being honest, I would rather see Joe, set LeBanc up.
I was say we haven't heard from
Sorensen
LeBanc
up.
in a
Yeah.
while. I'd like to see him.
Yeah.
That just like kind of the depth or more depth scoring, but more than the depth scoring, I want to see our big guns come out. Tired of them being quiet.
Yeah.
Let's see it, boys.
You know, and it's like you'd love to see Couture do a little bit better, even though he's leading in scoring. But he's been what do you call it? He's been brain not working.
He's been brain not working?
Yes. He's
Your
been,
brain's not working.
Exactly.
Got
He's
it,
been
okay.
giving us so much, and he has been. What do you call that word?
Absent?
Oh my gosh!
Exhausted?
No. When you pamper somebody so much that they become.
Got nothing.
I'm moving right along.
Yep.
I'm just gonna go and ask. Thornton is going to go on swinging if it is his last year, and I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
That's from Joe is one too many.
You
I
mean
totally
spoiled?
agree. Yes, thank you.
Okay,
there
spoiled.
you go.
Curdling.
It's pass. Go to the next one.
we are now the $1 Million Pyramid.
Yeah, actually, one of my next questions following
Yes,
up with
go
that, aside is like who is which offensive weapon is going to step up? Do we see him? Do we see them shuffling the lines around a lot, a little bit, or at all?
Maybe a little bit.
Maybe a little bit. I mean, just by virtue of Pete DeBoer, right? Of it being Pete DeBoer as a head coach. He puts people in the line blender sometimes, whether or not you really think that it needs it. Sometimes he just does it. So, yeah, I could see some things getting changed up a little bit out there. I think he might stick with Donskoy, Hurdle, and Kane, which would be cool, because I'm all for that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. We'll have to see.
I think it depends if Haley's healthy. If his wrist is feeling good, I bet he comes in. Sorensen's out, and probably keeping Donskoy there. So I don't know. I think it just depends on a little bit of the health and some other factors, I guess.
Yeah.
Do I think he needs to? I thought they looked good tonight. I thought the lines, the way they were tonight, looked good, and I thought they played all right.
See, and again, a comment, I don't mean to call you out or anything, but a comment like that makes me feel like it's, we're kind of riding that low right now, right? The series is still tied 2-2, and again, had the Sharks lost Game 3 and won Game 4, we'd be on the uptick right now, as opposed to, oh gosh, what do we have to do to win, right?
Right.
So we have to do the same thing that we did for the first 2 games that we won. That's, right, play hard, get the puck to the net, screen the goalie, get him moving side to side.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to see us maybe, again, hit some people. I think that's going to only help our game. But I don't think it's the situation isn't dire. Let's put it that way. It's 2-2 right now. Yeah, we're coming off of a loss, but we stole one from them guys. We stole one, so we're in good shape.
Yeah, we're right where we were in the Avalanche series.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're at a 3-game series. So
We got a lot more comments.
no, just not really. No.
Okay.
We still got people talking, but go ahead.
I wanted to do a plug for our EASHL teams.
Oh.
Both PlayStation 4. We have a Twitch channel, and I think it's twitch.tv/thefin-factor.
Mm-hmm.
So if you watch Twitch and you're a fan, if you want to watch us play, we've got 2 videos up there right now. And just to help the Xbox team, Patrick Kerbal is going to be hosting tomorrow night, Saturday night at 9 p.m. on Xbox One. He'll be up there playing with a couple of the other guys. So if you're on Xbox and you want to join, find them. So search and look for TFF.
TFF as the abbreviation for the club, and it will pop up for you.
Yep. And just wanted to plug that real quick.
Cool. Yeah, so that's for Xbox. Also on PS4, we have a team there that is ran by me. So I've got a lot of guys on there. I think we may have 1 slot available right now, but I've also got a lot of guys that haven't been playing at all.
I think there's like 3 right now.
There's 3 that have 0 games, but a lot of guys that have 1 or 2 games
Yeah.
that simply haven't played. So I'm keeping track of who's playing, essentially, and if someone's been stagnant for too long and I've got other people that want to come in, I have to kick them. So if you don't want to get kicked from the EASHL club, please make sure that you play some games. And if you'd like to coordinate with those folks, again, there's the whole PlayStation community tab thing that's in your XMB menu, whatever that's called. Search for the Fin Factor, and you'll get the Fin Factor EASHL community. Join that, and then start posting about when times, whatever that you're on, and we'll see if we can find some guys that maybe are a good match for you.
Yep.
And you can go out there and play with them. Now, if you only got 1 buddy or something like that, cool. Play in 3v3 if you want. It doesn't really matter. So
Patrick's watching right now. He says, "Thanks, guys."
yeah, you're welcome, Patrick. No, thank you, really, because
Yeah.
you're kind of helping us out by putting us out there in our name.
He's El Capitan of the Xbox One team.
There you go. So yeah, please, guys, if you're listening to this, go ahead and join those groups and join the community and play those games, because I'm just trying, like I said, I'm just trying to get my EASHL Barbie Funhouse Arena thing.
And word
build it up.
is that we will be able to get some of those codes for the NHL 20 game once that comes out. I think around September.
Okay.
That's when they come out.
Nice.
September, October. It's like usually right before the actual season starts. So we'll do some giveaway whenever we get those away in the future. So this will continue into next season. I'll also plug real quick.
Mm-hmm.
We are not going to do it yet, obviously, but I'll start a fantasy hockey league, which we mentioned a while ago, over a month ago, but just wanted to get that fresh in your guys' head for next season. If you're interested in playing fantasy hockey, because I know there's a big interest there. We might even have to do 2 different leagues, and I'll figure out how to get that going. But
Wow.
We'll have a lot of interest for that. So just be ready to join a team with the Fin Factor.
Very good. Last thing, I think we will be giving away a lot of the stuff that you see on the set here. So some of the shirts, some of the baubles, these playoff mode boxes that you see in the back there that are propping up our little noisemaker, as well as some of the pucks that we had that are playoff mode pucks. I'm sure there's other stuff that we'd be happy to give you guys as well. So what you're going to want to do is be subscribed to the channel. So I was looking back here, I saw we're at 1,774 or 76 subscribers now, which is about 1,500 more than I thought we were going to have at this point in the season when we started doing this. So yeah, again, thank you for all the subs we have. But if you're not subscribed, you're going to want to subscribe so that you know when we are going to be doing those giveaways. Also, follow us on Facebook and Twitter at The Fin Factor and Instagram at Fin Factor, because we'll be putting that information up there as well. Is that everything? Is there anything else?
I don't think so.
Okay. Any last second questions, Joe? Any good ones? No? All of them suck? Joe doesn't like anyone
No,
in the chat anymore?
I'm just talking to a Blues
Oh,
guy
he's
right
just-
now.
Okay.
which is fine. We.
Did the saltiness of his tears dry up from Game 3?
No, he was just basically saying that the Sharks can't win without the refs helping them, which is why Blues in 6. And I'm like, hey,
how did I know?
and no.
Yeah.
I mentioned that the Sharks got the Blues 2 goals tonight, so the Sharks were helping the Blues out.
Yeah.
But I agree that they did give pressure, which is what caused the bad pass from Burns,
Right.
which was then deflected lest
Right.
it missed the goal altogether.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the internet. What are you gonna do? We had a great chat going. I have no
Yeah.
problem with they're being respectful.
No, that's good. That's
While
good.
I can take, like I said, I could take jabs. If it gets abusive, I'll mute them. But for now, whatever. So.
Very good. Okay, well, I think that is going to do it, right? We're
Yep.
good? Okay, cool. So once again, guys, for everybody who helped us out with the Super Chat money, thank you so much. We do appreciate you supporting the show. It's going to go a long way in Season 2 to help us out with a better camera or a better Wi-Fi or a better whatever the problem
We're going
seems
to
to be.
upgrade that camera for next season.
We'll probably upgrade,
Yeah.
yeah, but that's okay. So hey, it's going to be possible because of you guys. So thank you so much for that. And if you went and bought a hat, which one of our
Sonic,
yes, Sonic the Hedgehog bought a hat. So thank you so much. I don't know how you're going to fit your hair underneath all that, but again, we do appreciate everything that you guys are doing for us, and we'll be sure to try to pay it forward with the stuff that we have on the set. So. We love the conversations, we love the questions, we love the comments. Keep them coming, and make sure that you do tune in for the next live show, which will be happening on Game 5, or when that one's
3:30.
over. So yeah, about 3:30ish. So okay, that's it. So again, thank you so much, and for super producer Jason, super key grip Joe, I'm Paul,
and I'm Aaron.
and we will see you
On Sunday.
on Sunday.
Sunday.
Bye.